Okay, so if a function is even or odd, it's going to turn out to be useful for us. So a function is even. So one that you can quickly identify would be like this. So if I chose an x value of this x value of 2, let's just say, and if I use -2, they give me the same y value. And so you can see that even functions are symmetric with respect to the y-axis. So an odd function would be if you put in a -x, you get the negative of the x. So let's do this one. So here, if I put in 2 into the cubic, I get a +8, right? If I put in a -2, I get a -8. So this is what a graph looks like if it's odd. So this is what a graph looks like if it's even. So we don't need to graph them to find out. We can just do the algebra. So what we're going to always do is we're always going to substitute in a -x. So if I substitute in a -x here, so I would put -x all to the 4th plus 2. So you know a negative to the 4th power is itself. Okay, so that's f of x, right? So what we just showed is that f of -x equals f of x. So that means it's even, right? I just showed this equals this. Okay, so some functions are even, some functions are odd. Most functions are neither even or odd. Okay, so let's do this again. So if I put in a -x, so I'm going to have -x all cubed. And then you know when you cube a negative, it's a negative. So I get -2x cubed. Oh, so that's the opposite of the function. So what I just found out was that this equals this. So f of -x equals negative f of x. And so that means it's odd. Okay, what about this one? So if I put in a -x, there's a negative out there, right? -x cubed plus a -x squared. All right, so cubing the negative gives me a negative, but then another negative gives me positive. So I get positive x cubed, and then squaring that gives me a positive x squared. Hey, wait a minute. There's no way that this is not equal to f of x, and it's not equal to negative f of x. So this function is neither odd or even. All right, so you've got the pictures on your paper, but I just want to kind of go through them. So when I say, and you're going to have graph quizzes, I'm going to say draw a quick sketch of sine of x. So I'm looking for you to know that one sine wave is between 0 and 2 pi. X-intercepts matter, so you should label them, and you should label what the height is, right? It goes up between 1 and -1. If you were to draw one cosine wave, it starts up here at 1, goes down to -1, and so this stops it. I'm just drawing one cosine wave, 0 to 2 pi, and so where the x-intercepts would be pi over 2 and 3 pi over 2. X-intercepts matter. I want you to be able to label them. Okay, so tangent of x, you know, has asymptotes. Very big deal to label your asymptotes. So this is an asymptote of pi over 2, and this is an asymptote of negative pi over 2, and it does go through the origin. Okay, so let's just go right to cotangent. The cotangent graph has an asymptote here and here. So that's an asymptote at 0 and an asymptote at pi, and it crosses here at pi over 2. So these are the graphs you're going to use the most, so get them memorized. But now I want to do the graph of, let's do cosecant. So cosecant are the cups that, because this is cosecant is the same as saying 1 over sine of x, right? So it uses this as a base graph, and it makes cups. So where this graph is 0, that's where I'm going to have asymptotes. I'll have an asymptote here at pi, and I'll have an asymptote here. And so what we do is we make cups like that, and it comes up here, and then this will be down here. So be careful, you know that that's at 1 and this is at -1. Okay, and one more, cosecant. So cosecant is going to give me the cups that come off of the cosine graph. Whoops. So I'm just going to draw, whoopsie, oops, it's erasing on me. Well, then I'm going to have to draw cosine again. Hold on. Okay. Okay, cosine. I had that, right? And that was at 2 pi. And I'm just going to continue this back. So you know that this was at pi over 2. So this is at -pi/2. And then this would be at 3 pi/2. Okay, so again, just like the cosecant is 1 over the sine, the secant is the 1 over the cosine. So wherever this is 0 is where you're going to have asymptotes. So asymptotes are really important to label. So there's -pi/2, there's pi/2, and there would be 3 pi/2. Okay, so it's the cups off of the cosine. So this one would be here at the y value of 1, and the cups from down here at the y value of -1. And that's all you would need to graph.